Hey hunting family, you are tuning into the Tracks and Tackle podcast, brought to you by Menser Outdoors.
Hey there, hunting family. Welcome back to another episode of Tracks and Tackle. I'm your host, the Arrow Eagle, and today we got a special treat for you. We're going to be thrilled to welcome back one of our friends and returning guest to the show, Justin Barrick. Justin joined us last time to talk about turkey hunting and the joys of teaching our children the art of hunting, and today he's back to recap how his hunting season went and share some incredible stories and insights. Cool thing about Justin is he's not just a seasoned hunter with a little bit of knowledge, but he is also a representative from Interstate Garage Doors, our amazing sponsor for the Tracks and Tackle podcast. We want to give a shout out to Interstate Garage Doors and to the entire team for their continued support of the show. So get ready to dive into some thrilling hunting tales, learn some valuable tips, and hear firsthand how Justin's season unfolded. And as always, whether you're an experienced hunter or you're just getting started, this episode is going to be packed with inspirational, practical advice. Sit back, relax, buckle up. Let's get into it with Justin Barrick. We did this one time. We set up and we recorded for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and like 3 of the cameras weren't running. One of them ran out of batteries. Like, hey, we're just. Well,
you texted me that the next day.
We were just having fun.
Like the week after, something like that. You were like, "Hey, man, we're gonna have to do it over, give them one recording."
Yeah. I think, and that night, I was getting like my phone was recording like it is one of the camera angles now. And it was getting blown up, like phone calls and emails and emergency stuff. And it was on the other side of the room. So we were just, we were having a good time. So anyway, Justin Barrick's with us today on Tracks and Tackle. And appreciate you taking a little bit of time coming back, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I don't even know where to start because last time we got to talking, we were talking about turkey season. We were talking about the kids, seeing them be successful and that sort of thing. But for anybody that hasn't been part of or heard that last episode, why don't you just tell a little bit about who you are, coming in here representing Interstate Garage Doors, and appreciate your partnership with the show as well.
Yeah. My name's Justin. I'm raised here, South Central Pennsylvania. Just always sort of typical country hick from around here, riding the roads, fishing, hunting, whatever. Married for 18 years now, I guess, almost. Monday be 18 years. And got 3 kids, 13-year-old, 10-year-old daughters, and then a 2.5-year-old boy. So the girls, they do some hunting and fishing with me, and it's a good time.
So you've been married 18 years?
It'll be 18 years on. I better get the math right on this.
Yeah, I know. This is one that she'll hear this. This is on the record.
We know she'll be listening too.
Monday, the 22nd.
So I'm just trying to think how long we've known each other.
Probably longer than long.
I mean,
It's got to be.
I didn't know you guys before you were married, though.
Yeah.
So
When did you start coming to Tree LA?
You might have been newlyweds.
When did you start at Tree LA? That's where we met, so that's where it would have been.
Yeah, that's a great question. I want to say, and I got to get the math right.
Right?
I want to say it was probably late 2000s, somewhere around there. So you guys must have been fairly newlywed whenever I met you.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't realize that. Very good.
She's a saint.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, we know you, and I know
That's
her.
what I'm told anyway. So I guess enough people say it, I'll believe it.
Right, right. So let's get into it, man. I appreciate you like sort of carving a little bit of time out for us because, long story short, it's been busy this summer. I haven't been able to get you on the show. How you doing, Hollywood? Why don't you just to say hello to everybody before we dive in?
Hey, hunting family. I'm doing great. Just like you, time's hard to find. The summer, doing a lot of fishing, unwinding, just spending time with loved ones, family, friends. There's always something going on. If you want to make plans with me, you got to book it like 3 or 4 weekends in advance. Yeah, just enjoying the summer. It's hot out lately. Air conditioning feels great, but just trying to get outside more and, enjoy it. But yeah, fun time.
I just took a 2-day camping trip, 3-day camping trip, turned into a 2-day camping trip. But love camping, love being outdoors. Went up to World's End State Park. Freaking beautiful, no cell reception, no nothing. But it's middle of July. It was hot. I mean, so hot. And so the trade-off living in the wild is I'm thinking these animals out here, they deal with it. I got to be able to deal with it. But I got to say, I'm happy to be sitting in front of a fan or sitting by the pool. And even when I came home to the pool, we got rained out on the last day and had an awesome day. Great hiking, waterfalls. Took our dogs with us, swimming in the streams, hanging out and everything. Got back and made an early dinner, and I'm glad we did because thunderstorm rolled in. And we were tent camping. I wasn't staying where we were with the winds.
That's what I was going to ask you where you stay, because we go up there for the boat festival every
right.
Stay in the rustic cabins, and it's awesome up there.
Yeah, so we just did like regular family camping right there on the park, and actually we got an awesome site because we had the dogs with us. They put you off into the corner, and so we didn't have somebody right up next to us. Had a huge campsite, and it's an adjustment to sleep out in the wild, which I love. Like I love hearing the forest go to sleep. I love hearing the forest wake up. And literally there's a creek right across the road from where we were at, so you can hear the water running and stuff. But they're doing construction on that road too. Yeah. So about 6 a.m. you hear these dump trucks bringing in hot asphalt and everything. There was no
you're
sleeping
right there. You're pretty much on the road.
We were right next to the road. Yeah, so there's no sleeping in, and then just the heat and everything on top of it. So we go out and we try to hike, but Sarah, she drives me, and taking the dogs along. I leash them up. They're like my pack dogs. They drag me up the hill and everything. But we found it wasn't real busy. It wasn't real crowded. But the rainstorm came in and cut us short our last night. So that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been up to. And that's why we haven't been recording.
Yeah. Sitting here, I realize one of us is not like the others. You might think it's me because I'm sitting here coming off work and I got my blue collar on. But we talked a lot about turkey, and it's the turkey apex predator that's sitting across from us. So we talked a lot with Turkey here about Justin. I'm eager to talk to him about a season. We got some pictures sent to us, so I know he's had some action, but I'm eager to sit here and dive in to see how his turkey season went and to hear some stories.
Yeah. No, it was a good season. It's one of those deals where if you tell me afterwards this is what happened, you take it. There was a lot of dead time in between the few really good days. But it was definitely a successful season. Didn't get to hunt as much as I normally do. A lot of that was, I'd say, work was definitely part of that. And then it's just getting older every year. It's harder and harder to get up every day. If we hunt Maryland, we're up at 2:30. And then you're hiking. So it's getting older. My shape's not getting any better. So it gets tougher.
Yeah. Now you and both your daughters had some luck?
Yeah. We I got a bird in PA, and that was a pretty cool hunt. And then they doubled up one night on some birds that I'd hunted most of the season, and then I hunted with my younger daughter a few times, and the birds just, turkeys are turkeys, man. We talked about it the first time. The first thing to know about turkey hunting is there's nothing you don't know. They do what they do, and you can make the right play sometimes. And there's people out there that know what to do, but still, those things, they do what they do, and you can throw everything you have at them. It might work, it might not.
Yeah, I know we were sitting here last time we recorded, and we were talking about, we were starting to geek out. It was getting close to time, and we had the session scheduled so that we could sit down and talk before season started, because we knew once season started, nobody's going to be available.
Mm-hmm.
I got two things on my mind, because it wasn't long after we talked last time you started sending us pictures, successful pictures. Point one, you got your bird pretty early in the season.
Yeah, I want to say, I don't know if it was the first week, if it was kind of the end of the first week or the second week in the PA season, because we'd been hunting Maryland, and Maryland, I don't know, April 10th, something like that, is like the youth weekend, and Lily and I, we hunted hard that weekend. Just couldn't get into anything, a lot of hiking. And then Maryland comes in like that next weekend, and then there's a week, something like that. This year was a weird year, I think, too, where there was a little more time in between. But so it wasn't like the first week that we were turkey hunting, but I want to say it was maybe the first or second week, first season. Yeah. That I got the one time I got lucky this year.
Well, I've gotten success early in season. I mean, the anticipation is what it's all about. Like, looking forward to season coming around. Yeah. And then on top of that, the sitting around telling the stories after season's done or after the hunt's over. Like, that's the fun part. The harvesting is the thrill. But, so I wanted to get your take on being successful earlier in the year, because it does give you a lot of free time. But I know you put that to use, because, like you said, your girls doubled up, and doubling up is a big deal too. Like, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're hunting, but if you're hunting with somebody else and you guys both have success on the same day, like, that's a special day too. So kind of a two-sided, I'm throwing this out here to get some your hot take on it, but, success early in the season, how did that impact the rest of your season? And then what was that like, the girls doubling up? Because I don't know if that has ever happened before or not.
So it obviously, PA, you can get a second tag. I get a second tag because I turkey hunt a fair amount. With some changes at work and stuff this year, I knew it was a little more on my plate, and I have the freedom to go when I can go, but you still have a conscience about, if you got work to get done, you got to get work done. So I had my second tag in the first week. I think the day before I killed the bird, I was hunting some birds where the girls doubled. That they were there, and they would gobble, and you could work them. But where this property is, they fly down onto the neighboring farm a lot, and that's kind of where they stay. But it's close to this other farm that I hunt that we've had a lot of success at over the years. So I hunted there that morning, I often do. I'll hunt right away. If I don't get into anything, I go to work and I'm there on time.
Right.
Early.
Yeah.
Fine. But I went to check the other farm, just see what was going on. And as I was pulling back the lane, I looked up, and there's a section of dirt field, and there stands a longbeard. And he kind of, worked back like they do, just back over the hill to where you could see the periscope sticking up over the top. And, I drove back, turned around, and said, okay, tomorrow morning I'll come check this guy out and see. And that's the thing about kids. Like, with my girls, we talked a little bit about this too. You want them to have as good of experience as you can. So I saw this. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go kind of hunt it tomorrow, but I don't like to just blast in and try to kill stuff. I'd rather try to hunt up out and see what's happening. Said if I don't kill them today, I'm not going to mess it up. Maybe tomorrow, whatever. Or the girls can go on a Saturday. So I went the next day and I got out of the truck and I walked back. They always roost in the bottom, and there's a cliff in the back, and there's two main hollows that come up, and they roost down along the creek, gobble, fly down there, and then they'll work up into the fields at some point. So I kind of was starting to walk back towards the back to see where they were roosting, because when I checked for youth day, they were in a little different place. There's a truck guy had pulled back and parked, and I know a couple other people are allowed to hunt there, but just a different mindset. Yeah. Just pull back wherever, and then they go in, which maybe they don't have the time that I have. Different philosophy. That's cool. But I'm like, well, I'm here now. So I kind of worked back out, didn't want to go back and mess anything with them up. Went back and set up in the edge of the field. Just thought, okay, beautiful morning, watch sunrise. And it couldn't have been yon rings. Couldn't have been more than 5 minutes, maybe. It's getting to where, and I hadn't heard a gobble yet, not a gobble, and I know they're down in there. Whoever's hunting is down in there. About time, maybe flat gun crack down in the bottom of the hall. Well, now we're definitely done. But I was sitting there, and I don't know. I guess it was about 7 o'clock. Work starts about 8. And that morning I didn't have anything pressing, so I thought I'm just going to sit here. Comfortable. It got to about 5 after 7, and thought I heard a gobble. Gotta kind of go to work here soon.
It makes it easier, or just sit a little bit longer when you hear it.
Yeah. And I thought in my head, you want to hear a gobble. You're trying, I'm trying to talk myself into not going to work.
Right. Right.
So I hadn't heard a gobble all morning. You just heard a gobble. Okay. I said, all right, give it to 20 after, something like that. We're 7:19. He gobbles again. It was closer. I was called. He gobbled. Ended up working him. He answered my call. Thought, okay, great. Just sat there and just sort of relaxed, let things happen. I know they're probably coming up to the fields anyways. Saw him. He's up there. He's strutting back and forth about 80 yards away along the edge of the field. And at this point, I'm calling as quiet as I can call, just real. I had the one hen decoy out, and he ends up working across the tall alfalfa into the dirt. And he's probably 45 yards away. 40's my line.
Right.
We talked about it last time. The equipment will do it, but I feel like 40, I've beaten you. Outside 40, you're just, the equipment's doing it.
Don't want to leave it up to chance.
Yeah, so long story short, 30 minutes, he's inside 50 yards. And I had a hen pop out. She's around me, and she started to leave, and I was able to make a move and kill him. But here we are, first week. One of the tags is filled. Great hunt, amazing. He gobbled. He only gobbled a few times right there, but watch him strut for 40 minutes the entire time.
What more could you really ask for?
Exactly. So, but one tag, you only got one left. So yeah, it does change your. Yep. If you don't have a tag, you can't hunt. Anymore. But I got one tag, and it's like, you want to kill, but I don't want to be done. So you got Maryland, and then there's, figuring things out for the girls. And so I hunted, but I hunted kind of half-hearted. I hunted thinking, you're trying to kill something, but on the other hand, if I don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
And so that really, that's what happens then. It kind of takes the girls sort of take over a little bit in your preference. So deer season, I think, is different from turkeys, because you're trying to, for us, it's freezer. Freezer's the objective. and one doesn't do it. So that doesn't slow me down. If anything, it makes me want to go get another one, because if I'm going to butcher one, I might as well butcher two. Everything's dirty, you know? So, but turkeys, it's kind of like, it does sort of put you in that. And I couldn't get to Maryland as much as I'd like to. So, there were some mornings I did sleep in. Normally I wouldn't, and regretted those.
2 in the morning is pretty early, though. I mean,
it is. The biggest, the one day that I went down to Maryland, my brother Josh had killed a bird that Saturday or Sunday. And there was another group of birds down there. So I got up one day, got up at like 1:45, left, got to the gate at 4, sat there till like, I think 4:20, 4:25, got out. I mean, nobody else came to that gate. There's one way in, one way out.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody came in. I'm like, sweet, got the whole, like 35 minutes back to the spot, was in the spot 20 minutes before gobbling light, just real easy. And right about gobbling time, here came 2 headlamps up the trail. And that's a tough morning, But I didn't kill that morning. They did, which was cool for them.
So you knew who the guys were, or you ended up running into them?
I know they were late. That's all I know. But it's as part of turkey. Like the turkeys were there.
That's like our trout season. You get up in the middle of the night, so you get to the hole and have it secure. But then, 10 minutes before 8, you got somebody pulling up in the parking, or a bunch of trucks driving by, because you got to do the work. But that is a little bit different than turkey hunting, because you got people walking around, that busts your hunt up.
And that's the thing. Like this specific spot, the road comes back, and I was off on, there's one finger ridge that goes back here, like main ridge system, and then there's another ridge system. Mm-hmm. And so I was just off the main trail at my spot, and they came up, and, I kind of flashed them with my light, and they stood there for 20, 30 seconds, which to me, I'm thinking, are they going to leave? Fair amount of real estate back there. I wasn't mad that they didn't leave. Honestly, when they kept going on the main trail, I was like, okay, good. I still have my thing. But they've gone that way. So I'm here. Mm-hmm. I'm not turkey hunting. We talked about the first time. It's just I'm not comfortable. If I don't know who it is, I'm not comfortable with it. So, well, they went, and I mean, they weren't going. The bird starts just hammering over there. And they ended up, he's hot, and 5 minutes after fly down ish, gun cracks, and they're hooping, hollering, and yeah, I mean, awesome for them. It'd be a lot nicer if I didn't get up at 1:45, drive 2 hours, sit in the truck, just sit there longer than I needed to make sure I was the first one at the gate, back in. But that's part of it.
Yeah.
And so they killed the turkey. The worst part about the morning, the birds I was on, they didn't gobble much. And I knew all along. I mean, as soon as I heard these birds start to gobble and heard that bird gobbling, I was on the wrong bird. I'm in the wrong place. And I thought I had first one at the gate. And then whenever they kept walking, I was like, I got the good spot anyway. So not that morning. It's just the way it works.
There's no crystal ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So
we say in our line of work, lessons learned.
Yeah.
Yep. So they killed that turkey hoop and holler 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe after they left. I was sitting there, and that was a cool morning. I saw for the first time a fisher in a while.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting there, and maybe 70 yards away, I see this thing coming. It just looks like a giant, oversized ferret, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? Look at my binoculars. Holy cow, it's a fisher. That's cool. He's standing there, and all of a sudden, he starts coming towards me. I'm like, oh, he's going to come up. I'm going to get good video. Out of nowhere comes this red fox and chases it up a tree. Thing climbs they're made to do it.
Yeah, they're designed to.
Yeah. So that was cool. But then this other bird fires up, maybe 20 minutes after they're hooping and hollering, over in the same general spot, and he's gobbling like crazy. and I'm waiting for the gun to crack a second time. Nothing. It got to the point where I had to be to work like 11, but I had something out Bedford way. So I'm kind of out that way. Well, that bird's hot, but I can't go over there. There's somebody back there. So I ended up hiking out to the truck. No truck there. So they sprinted back in late, killed their turkey, and then rolled out. And this bird is over there just screaming his face off, saying, "Hey, come carry me out."
He was ready to die, and you didn't know.
Yeah, it's just
one way or the other.
And I wouldn't change it, because if they had still been around there somewhere, it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, I had a really good hunt. I got out a lot this year. Number one, I was motivating myself, and we talk about getting bit by the bug. So I was really eager to get out for turkey. And then number two, like we talk about all these people, I can't be this guy that sleeps in and doesn't get out at all. So it's like my fans, I wanted to get out there for them. But I had this one hunt. I did everything wrong. But I got out to my spot a little bit later. I heard a bird, kind of got in a position where I was in a good spot. And there comes this fox. And it's beautiful. I'm sure we all can relate here when the animals don't know you're out there and you're just in their home. So you can, just trotting by, not even a worry in the world. So I got to watch this fox for a little bit. And then shortly after, another one came out. But yeah, just so beautiful, just this bright red in early spring. I'm sure it had an impact on the bird that I was on. But yeah, just kind of being present where your feet are and enjoying the, hey, this is why we do it moments.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sitting here at work. It's turkey season. I'm, slaving away here at the desk. And I get a text, and it's a picture. This guy's at the casino, and he's got birds like walking through the parking lot at the casino. I'm thinking, like, everywhere he goes, he's hearing birds, he's seeing birds, and you put your time in, and you did have a little bit of success in the bird category as far as seeing them. You didn't fill your tag this year, but really impressed with how much time you put in, and it paid off because you were scouting the land pretty good too.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time out in the scouting. Unfortunately, I should have scouted more, but we can play the time card. There's one spot that I found that I thought, I've been seeing birds on my drive and walks through. I was like, I'm going to get set up here. And that spot, nothing in the morning when it came around. It was always the evening when I saw them, but still good to get out. And similar to you, I would get out before work. And really, yeah, if you get up early and get out there, you have all the time in the world before, I need to be in the office at 9. Maybe you have to be there a little bit earlier, but until that sun comes up, it just feels like forever.
You have an eternity to 9 o'clock. There's so much time before 9 o'clock in the spring.
So I didn't realize that, but I was really thinking, what if I do have action? I'm going to have to walk across the parking lot to Walmart and get a cooler and ice, and I'll be in the parking lot with some people giving me some weird looks, but we'll be making memories, and I'll be thrilled and I'll be pumped.
Yeah, that's part of the story, right?
Yeah, I was.
That's just part of the story. There I was walking across the parking lot with a cooler full of ice.
Our one hunting tote that we put our clothes in was because I didn't take the cooler. I killed a turkey and needed something to put ice in the turkey in. So, you're going to use it.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention, So, yeah, I was getting texts from Hollywood of turkeys in the parking lot, like wherever he was going, he was sending me pictures of birds. I'm getting texts from Justin, he's just sending video of, the hollow he's hunting in over the open field, and you can just hear the birds, talking and everything. And I'm sitting here slaving away at the job, but, that's what it's all about. You have some success. It's like you shared the story. Those guys, they came in late. They got lucky that day. Sometimes you put in a ton of time and it doesn't turn out the way that you want it to, but there are other times where you're at the right place at the right time, and the stars align for you.
Yeah. There's days that you can't get it right. There's nothing you can do to make it right. And we've all had times where we were successful on a hunt and we had no reason to be. It just happens that way.
So, did you get your hunting license yet?
I did. Yeah.
So you're all set. How about you?
I'm all set. I'm ready for the next doe tag process to come through. I believe is it the 22nd?
July 8th.
There you go.
That's
Wait.
non-residents. July
Non-residents.
22nd. Yep.
Round 2.
I'm in
So
round
that's
2.
Monday.
Yeah, July 22nd, 8 a.m. That is
Oh, it was over.
on Monday.
So I was at Walmart. This was Friday.
Right, the literature.
I was late to get mine, but I don't know what the guy did, but he must have hit it and it didn't print. Then he hit it again and it printed 2 copies. Man, he wouldn't give me that other one. I asked.
That was an error, man.
Yeah, I thought
Operator.
it's buy one, get one free. But no, I don't know. It clicked with me. Maybe it's just more burning passion, this hunting community that we're building here. But you talked about me texting you, and I texted Justin a little bit. I don't know why I started last year, but I turned on a little schoolgirl. You know, they say don't kiss and don't tell. But I'm pumped. I think it started with a nice buck that I hit in archery.
Right.
I didn't text Ronnie. I called him. I was like, dude, guess what? I just laid it all out, and I got him fired up. And
I was pumped for you, man.
yeah,
That was awesome.
and then with seeing birds too, I'm like, birds in front of me. So yeah, there was a moment like I'm texting Justin like, hey, like what would you do here? Like here's what's happening, and I got feedback and is appreciative, but yeah, it just wasn't their day.
They do what they do, and I mean, like I said, there's people out there that I guess they got a little bit of turkey brain in them, that they know how to make a move. That's the thing. If you're willing to move and risk and whatever, it's just, for me, if I don't know for sure, nobody's around, I get nervous doing that.
Yeah, it's better to be safe.
But you can be really aggressive with turkeys. I listen to podcast guys down in Tennessee where they have the real sharp ridges. There can be a turkey 30, 40 yards away from you, and you can move all you want if they're just on the back side of the ridge. And sometimes turkeys, a lot of times they hear scratching.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough to, they think it's turkeys moving, and that's a big deal. If you're sitting and they're hung up sometimes just scratching in the leaves, and you see it more and more, that's as effective a call as any call sometimes. So just moving, that's what a real turkey's going to do, right? She's not going to sit at one tree and just yap, 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 yap. She's going to move, and she's going to feed when she's moving, and so that's something you can do, and it works sometime. But there's just days. The birds that the girls killed, there was 4 longbeards. They were roosting again. They roost on the property that we can hunt. There's a little meadow, and then there's like an open, oak kind of knob, and it drops off on the end. There's big sycamore trees there, and they roost on that knob, but they fly straight across the creek into this field, farmer's field. For the 5 years I've been hunting it, that's what the turkeys do a lot. They've flown down on the property that I can hunt, but not many times. I think it's too thick in patches.
Mm-hmm.
They go this way, they're hitting thick stuff somewhere. So, but these birds every morning, and I mean, you want to hear gobbling, go, because they're there, guaranteed, and they're gonna talk. And I took Addie there, and they just scream and scream and scream, and they'll answer your calls. And I try everything. Get in underneath them. Under them. Don't call. Get in, get close to them, call light. Try back the edge of the meadow, just where they can't see you, call light. Call heavy. The 8-10 mornings I hunted them, try something different every time. And they do what they do. They're made for the hens that come to them. But these specific birds, that's just what they did. They flew down, and they'd stay in the same spot in the field. And we even cut a path through like the thick stuff, got down next to the creek, me and Addie one day. And so we could change position on them.
Mm-hmm.
If they fly down, this is kind of lower, it's level. And I know they cross the creek there because in the fall I see them do it a lot. So in the springtime, the composition of the woods is different, but still, they're used to crossing there. So, okay, we're up here all the time, and they just gobble out the field. Well, we, go down to try and just have them going nuts, but their instinct says, you come to me, and that's what they're doing. So, to kill those birds, we actually went. I've never gone and asked the farmer that owns that field, but with Addie, let's go ask. So we went. We stopped back the one Saturday. And,
having a kid helps.
Yeah, and honestly, I was 10-year-old girl. Like I thought it would help. And I just honestly driving back, I was just hoping it was a good experience.
Well, you're teaching her too, as you're modeling the right way to do.
Yes, it's great, but just give me a good experience.
Yeah,
And so we went back, and the guy could have been nicer. Absolutely. And I said, hey, stay in the truck. They had a couple dogs. I was like, make sure the dogs are okay. And I went, and I told the guy, I said, hey, I told him who I was. I said, I got my daughter in the truck. I said, we're doing some turkey hunting, and we hunt across the creek. I said, the birds every day fly across onto yours. And honestly, I was waiting for guns to crack over there at some point. This was a couple weeks in. It was just shy of when you could hunt all day. So I was waiting to hear people shoot turkeys over there some morning, because every morning they were there. And so I thought, well, maybe he doesn't hunt. So we went, and I asked him, I said, before I get her out, I said, I want to get her out because I didn't want you to feel like you were pressured.
Right.
And he was super kind. He said, look, I appreciate you stopping and asking. He said, we hunt them a little bit. He said, and I just, we just bought the farm last year, and we kind of, to this point, kept it for family. I said, I can respect that. That's great. And I'd asked him, I said, I appreciate you, being cool about it, and, stopping and asking and stuff. And I said, would you mind if I got her out and we kind of went through the process again and asked, so she's not afraid to ask? I actually would like her to hear no.
Yeah.
From somebody who's, cool about it. Because we've all asked and had people kind of be unnecessarily rude about it.
Right.
And that's not something that I want my kids to see, because then they're afraid to, I want them to think the worst thing can happen is they say no.
Yeah.
So I got her out, and we asked, and he was super cool, super nice, and, just said it again. I said, thank you. She thanked him, and off we went. And as we were driving out, there's 4 longbeards coming down this way. And, but those birds, as I was hunting them, there was scratching up on that knob. Now, if they're not flying down there in the morning, they got to do it sometime, and they're roosting right there. So I just kind of thought to myself, maybe at night, they come in, they're feeding around there, and from there they can fly up from that knob, and instead of flying, that knob's 25 feet higher.
Sure.
Instead of having to fly 60 feet into a tree, they only got to fly 40 feet, maybe. So I put a couple cameras up. Sure enough. That's, almost every night. That's what they were doing.
So you pattern them.
Yeah, essentially. And I've never been a huge fan of the nighttime hunting. Being able to hunt them in the afternoons and stuff. But at this point, I was getting my butt kicked by them every day. And, Addie was hunting hard. Lily hunted hard to a certain point, and then she kind of checked out a little bit. She was sleeping more almost exclusively.
Yeah.
And we had a couple, chats like, hey, and then
we know some guys like that. Exclusive sleepers.
There's a big debate whether you sleep in your stand or not.
Yeah. Some people, they swear by it.
Yeah, it's okay. You want to do what you do, but if I'm taking my time, I need to be hunting with somebody if I'm taking you. So I started, Addie always knows Lily's older, Lily's first. So there was like a shift whenever I said to Addie, hey, you want to go turkey hunt Saturday? And she was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it sent a little bit of a message to Lily too.
Sure.
She was I had actually heard through the grapevine that my brother had asked her, how's turkey hunting going? She said, oh, well, I haven't really been getting out much. Dad's been taking Addie. And Josh was like, well,
it's always
he knew
a teaching lesson
involved.
Yeah.
She said, well, I guess, I just, I'm asleep most of the time. And I take Addie out, she stays awake.
Yeah.
So she wants to be there, So anyways, we have these birds leading up to that Monday when you can hunt all day. And, you're checking the camera and they're in there, and I'm still hunting them in the mornings, but I'm not hunting them hard. But also, it doesn't matter. The one morning I did have them going to where I thought, okay, if I can do it, I'm killing one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I had them going like crazy, and they were coming closer, going for they were doing the strut back and forth thing. I had made the loop like we planned, and just couldn't get them to budge. So that was a Thursday morning. I got pictures of them that night, and I got pictures of them Friday night, and then nothing Saturday night, nothing Sunday night. And Monday night, I had planned Nikki was going to bring Addie up, and I was going to take her hunting. And it was actually my brother Josh that said, listen, I put a blind up and got it, set up and ready. And Josh had said to me, you can take Lily too, right, in case you double. And I honestly hadn't thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just focused on one, get like one turkey. I was like, yeah, it's a good idea. So I had Nikki bring them up to me, and we went out, but we hadn't got pictures of for a couple of days. And I was sure that Saturday the farmer finally, because he said, we're going to start hunting them, and when we do, maybe we'll push them up to you.
Right. Yeah.
And I was sure, how your head goes. I was sure they had hunted them Saturday and killed them. But we went out Monday night. It was hot. The blind was big enough. The girls were sitting in their chairs. I'm on my knees. I'm too old and fat to be on my knees. Like everything hurts. And we sat there, and they were coming in, 640 to 650 most nights. Coming in, scratching around on that knob, and then flying up. Got to 630. I said, okay, it's open down to the left, it's thick to the right. And I told them, I said, if they come in from the right, which I didn't think they would because of how thick it was, I said, but if they do, it's not going to be a, hey, girls, get ready. It's going to be
they're on top of you.
There's turkey right here.
Yeah.
And so it got 640, 645, 650, 655. It hit 705 and all. There's just, and I've been calling just every now and then, scratching a little bit, just real, like feeding purrs and clucks and stuff like that. And it's about 20 after, Lily actually had said she thought she heard something kind of fixed up, but there's squirrels everywhere there. So
I've been fooled by a squirrel.
Yeah, they make a racket, and in my mind, we were past the time that they were going to come in. So,
sure. Yeah.
And I told them, I said, you guys need to be ready. Well, Lily's gun sitting up against the side of the blind. She was second. We knew, like, Addie shoots first, and she's got her 410, and then Lily has her gun. But Addie sat the whole night, gun up on the up on the shooting sticks, like ready. And 722, something like that. I looked, and right there, 8 yards away, there's a redhead.
Uh-huh.
And I said, Addie, there's the turkey right here. Get it. So she started getting, I got her red dot turned on for her. Lily got her gun up, got the red dot turned on, did everything, and then I seen the second and the third. And so they came in, and they're working in towards, I had one lone hen decoy out, and they just weren't sure about the whole thing. They were kind of like, they were macho when they're gobbling, but now they're just kind of, I don't know.
That's how the boys are.
Yep. So one worked up, and I told her, I said, get, whenever you can. And she shot and dumped it, and immediately I started doing some fighting purrs and stuff like that. In came the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I saw the third one. We didn't see the fourth one, but I did see the third one. And he was just back over the hill. And now I started to think, obviously, Addie's 410's a single shot. Lily's is a semi. I put 2 shells in.
Mm-hmm.
One for her. And then, one in a million. Well, when I seen the third one back there, it's like, oh, cow, dude, this might happen.
Can we get 3? Yeah.
And so Lily's, waiting, and it came in and attacked Daddy's, and Lily ended up shooting. And then whenever she shot, the bird,
Sure.
flew off. But it was just like, it was super, super cool. But like, Addie's 10. She killed her first turkey when she was 9. Lily killed her first turkey when she was 9 or 10. Like these girls, not many girls that kill whatever, but I said, how many sisters
Mm-hmm.
do you think did have done what you just did? And the coolest thing about it, I actually, we got out of the blind and went up, and I FaceTimed my dad right away. That was the first person that we called, and I FaceTimed them. And the girls, they got the turkeys, and they're, how siblings are. They're all picking and fighting and whatever. Like, it was just the thing I had noticed when I get up there waiting for my dad to answer. Like, the two girls that can't be 5 feet away from each other without picking each other, wanting to fight a little bit. Like, they're smiling, and they're hugging, and they're, like, it was like...
Happy as could be.
I remember noticing. Now, the cool thing about it, my dad didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
But my phone is all busted up. I mean, bad busted up. All the time I take screenshots now.
Sure.
Like, I don't know why it happened. Something's just messed up. I take screenshots all the time without trying.
Not intentionally.
It was like 3 days later, I'm looking through pictures in my phone because we took a bunch of pictures, and I had a screenshot when I was FaceTiming my dad, and the two girls are just standing there looking at each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like smiling and just like the joy,
Yeah.
the cool experience it was, and they can't even grasp,
They don't know. They
How
don't
much it
realize.
means.
but still in that moment, the joy that they had, it's,
I've been hunting 30 years with my brother. And I can count on less than, this hand, how many times we both were successful on the same night, regardless of what we were hunting.
Mhm.
So when it happens, when you have success on the same day, it's something to celebrate. It's a big deal. And when you have that type of success early on, you don't realize,
yeah.
the value of that, or at least I put a lot of value on it. I know last year we had a good day hunting together, and it might be another 20 years till we have another day like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll be just a couple months.
Right.
So
But yeah, just the raw emotion. Like, I don't know. I've seen two of my buddies doubled up, sitting in the blind, and me and my other friend, we were out on some trails and just coming back and just seeing the smiles on their faces. They're carrying their birds over their shoulder. Like, you just don't forget those moments and how awesome it is. But yeah, that's crazy. You can't see. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat here listening to this story. That was a good one. But yeah, definitely one years past you're not going to forget. Hopefully the girls don't either.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's, when I'm old and can't remember much of anything, that'll be burned into my head.
Well, hunting family, that's going to do it for us today on this episode of Tracks and Tackle. We hope you've enjoyed hearing Justin share his incredible hunting stories and insights from this spring's turkey season. If you did take a moment and give us a like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast, it's your support that helps us continue bringing you exciting and informative content every week. We'd also like to give another shout out to Interstate Garage Doors for their generous sponsorship. Be sure to visit their website at igdoors.com and tell them the guys from Tracks and Tackle sent you. Be sure to tune in next week for the conclusion of our interview with Justin, and we're going to dive deeper into his hunting adventures and expertise. And as always, hunting family, stay wild as the wind. See you next time.